I hope you all enjoyed our coffee break. So we'll restart this awesome talks. Before, this is Sascha, who will present you some cool IoT things. Just before that, we have just a word from our sponsor, Palantir. We would have.
What problems are we trying to solve?
What are the pieces missing that will help us solve this issue?
How on earth can I make this thing work when I'm on a plane with no internet?
As a fully deployed engineer, you spend a lot of your time writing code.
Coding, though, is a means to an end. If you don't actually understand the underlying problem, you end up spending all of your time and effort on things that aren't truly valuable. Our work touches so many important industries. Defense, intelligence, healthcare, insurance, finance, energy. Our clients are drowning in data.
It really is important to go inside with the client because that's the only way for you to see how they use their data. By understanding the problem they're trying to solve, we can help them answer the questions they want to ask.
A person can see a pattern in 100 things, but it's very hard for them to see a pattern in 1,000,000. Humans are incredible at insight. It's just surfacing the right information for them to see.
We also spend a lot of time thinking through how to make things better. We have no constraints tearing all of this apart and building it again fresh tomorrow.
We build a lot on open source. We use Dropwizard, TypeScript, Python, Apache Spark, AngularJS,
Cassandra and Postgres for data stores, Elasticsearch to store giant data sets.
If I were to kind of take the mean perfect day, it's maybe 40 to 50% coding, another 20% random technical things, and the remaining time digging through data, trying to understand the problem.
The work you do makes impact on people's lives, which is the missing piece in a lot of other engineering companies.
We're tackling so many different classes of problems, whether it's fighting ISIS, stopping human trafficking, supporting money laundering investigations,
dealing with cybercrime, insider trading, working with the special forces, law enforcement, the DoD.
I remember one time with a customer, we had just resolved this huge 70 million row thing down to 6 or 7 million.
We pulled up our clients' data and started doing a live interactive demo right in front of their faces. One of our customers was just like, holy shit.
One of my favorite projects was helping the district attorney fight gang activity. We were tracking a situation where there were a number of violent crimes, and they were trying to identify who did this, why they did it, are they related to a gang. So getting a chance to help them with that problem was really motivating and exciting for our team.
The culture here is designed for self-starters.
The person that succeeds at Palantir is very highly motivated, someone who thrives in an environment where they have to make decisions.
The best FDEs are people who will take their technical skill and expand it into tangible impacts.
As a forward deployed engineer, I get to travel, to experience the world, and I get to solve a lot of important problems along the way.
I don't think that technology can solve any problem, but technology can enable people to solve almost any problem.
I can't imagine anything better than that.
What problems are we trying to solve?
What are the pieces missing?
So, we're just going to do some technical stuff and change laptops before our awesome IoT presentation from Sascha. So, almost ready. And let's start and see some cool stuff.
So you hear me great. Yes, hi, hopefully, thank you. The first one is applauding. No, I don't deserve that right now. Anyway, you might ask why I like to talk to you about Minecraft and and what's my motivation behind that. And hopefully in the end of this talk you get the idea of what I'm doing, how I try to prototype the Internet of Things, how I try to create showcases, how I try to somehow, in quotes, innovate, to ideate, create ideas and build stuff you really can experience. But recently I was on a conference which really describes my main motivation, because on Wednesday, that's a true story, on Wednesday I had to do a slightly similar talk, a little bit shorter and just focused on Minecraft, and that was an Eclipse conference dealing with Eclipse technologies. And there was a 9-year-old boy in the audience, and he just went to this conference only to see my talk on Minecraft. And this is something which really makes me proud and which motivates me, because I want to enable people to do something with, in quote, the Internet of Things. I want to empower people building their own solutions, and that's what really drives me. Most of my time I somehow deal with the Internet of Things, and the most common sample for the Internet of Things is a smart home. And if you by any chance don't get any idea what you can do with what I'm explaining to you, what I show you, maybe you can at least get what you see on the first slide here.
Let's go to party mode.
One dance party coming up.
Because that's the Hello Barbie dream house, and that's a great way to experience the smart home, the Internet of Things, connectivity, and stuff like that. Because there you can talk to your house. It's a little bit like Google Home, Amazon Echo. You can talk to the house, and you can turn, for instance, you can turn the stairways into a slide via a voice command. You can call the elevator via a voice command. You can turn on and off the lights. So it's a great way to make some experience with Internet of Things and smart home in particular, and it costs only around about 300 euros. So if you have a daughter and you don't know what to spend her on Christmas, that might be a great starting point. But as mentioned before, this is just the starting point of creating something, and there are several things you can already buy in the market, and all these things, or most of these things, they seem to be a little bit awkward, a little bit odd, and I have a short summary of things I think are worth mentioning. My favorite sample, where I absolutely have no clue what the purpose of that is, the connected wig. Connected wig in the top left from your side. That's a wig you can wear, and it's a patent by Sony. They really have a patent on that, and you can wear this wig, they say, to navigate inside cities. So maybe there will be a Porto wig someday which leads you to the sites in the city. I'm not sure how it will work. Anyway, there are much more samples. You can connect bees, you can connect dogs, you can, yes, we have seen that, you can connect your car, you can connect your toothbrush. So there are several samples. My absolute favorite is the connected toilet paper printer. Unfortunately, it's not a product you can buy, but if this will be a product you can buy, I'm the first one to order it, because I would love a toilet paper printer for Twitter feeds of the toilet, because you get the relation between Twitter and toilet paper printers. I think that's a great starting point. Google calls what we do in a particular way. It depends a little bit on the technologies you use. They call it the physical web. That's one way how you can connect devices. The physical web means that you have these small beacons, Bluetooth sending devices, Bluetooth signal sending devices, and you can put these devices on almost everything, which then turns into a connected product. Usually you use the physical web just to broadcast URLs, websites. There are samples like, for instance, you have a remote-controlled car, and then you put your beacon on this car, and once you get close to this car with your phone, a website pops out, and on this website you get the remote control, which then controls your car via web Bluetooth, for instance. Well, it sounds a little bit odd anyways, but that's the way you can use that. Or you can use the physical web for parking meters. So you get close to a parking meter, and then you get a website where you can pay the parking at that spot. So that's the physical web. And all these things I like to show you, they describe that almost everything will be connected in the near future, if not already today. So everything can somehow be connected, every kind of cars and whatever you can imagine. And here's one more sample. I built that just for trying, for trying out beacons together with my son, and this is something just to measure the time for each round, because we need something to challenge my son and me. But the real purpose of that was that I did build a booth with a lot of beacons, and I had to test that. And running around in our office just to test that, that was really lame. So then I bought a RC car to test it and drove around with the RC car. Best of all, nowadays I can reduce my taxes buying toys. So that's quite a good idea. And that was one of the things you can do, and Lego and whatever you can do to build your showcases, your prototypes, your test scenarios. And this did remind me on that video, because everyday things, almost everything will be connected in the near future. It feels like cockroaches spreading out all over the world, like somehow connected cockroaches, which will be also somehow smart. And having millions of devices around you, connected devices, that's something which scares people, especially because these devices will start chatting about you, not only with you. They will exchange data, information about you, and then they will somehow act, sometimes in your sense, sometimes they will act in a way you maybe do not like, and this scares people. And because this scares people, I like to talk to people to understand what scares them, why have they some anxiousness, and what can I do about that to make more valuable solutions, to reduce this somehow. And then I thought about history, and it's almost very much the same like in the past, because every time there's something new, people are scared about that. It was exactly the same when the people did invent trains. At that time, the fastest transportation have been horses with around 20 miles per hour, 30 kilometers per hour, something like that. And at the time they did invent the train, it was faster, and even doctors, even academic people, they thought this is dangerous. They thought if you have something which travels faster than 20 miles per hour, so faster than a horse, you'll get crazy, and with more than 30 miles per hour, you probably will die. That's really what the people thought, and nowadays we travel with thousands of kilometers per hour and we are still alive. And most speakers here had to come with a plane, and guess you are still alive. Maybe odd, still odd, but alive. So that's where we are currently, and we have to enlighten people. We have to talk to people about this thinking. We have to explain the reasons, the pros and cons, and we have to deal with that, especially because we are the only people building the Internet of Things somehow. We are the people understanding the technology behind that, so we are responsible for making that better. Anyway, this is just one issue. The other issue is it's way too complicated, the Internet of Things. Normal people, regular users, they struggle with using all this stuff. If you think about the Internet of Things, and especially the smart home, just a historic compare. It's a little bit similar to the time when the light was invented, the electric light, because at that time people did not know that, they did not know how to deal with that, and in 1900, exactly 1900, they did install the first public light, street lights in New York, and because the people did not know that, it was to the people just magic, they had to use this boards where they printed that you don't use fire, no candles or something like that to turn on the light. There's a switch somewhere to turn it on and off. They have to somehow enlighten the people. But this reminds me a little bit on the time we are now with the Internet of Things, because if you have a connected home, if you compare that, you need kind of a sign like that nowadays, because otherwise people are not able to use a smart home, a connected home. For instance, if I get home nowadays, I first have to put my mobile, my cell phone out of my pocket. I have to turn it on. I have to unlock it. I have to get in the local Wi-Fi. Then I have to find the right application which controls my smart home. Once I have this application, I have to search for my lights, and then finally I can turn on the lights if not my wife has turned off the lights via the wall switch, because then there's no power on the lights and there's no way to control it via my phone. So that's where we are currently, and this is really awkward. This is really bad, and we have to become better. Maybe something like that might be a solution. If we think about conversational user experience, conversational interfaces like the Amazon Echo, Google Home, maybe this will make it better. Or my favorite product because of the name, the Ling Long Ding Dong, that's the Chinese version of that. Unfortunately, I do not speak Mandarin or Cantonese, so I have no idea how it works. but that's the keyword, ding dong, ding dong. And because I feel responsible for what I'm doing, I have, besides the Chinese one, because I can't use it, I have all of these gadgets, and I try that out at home, and I make some experience. I see what feels good, what feels bad, how I can create actions, or as Amazon calls it, skills, to include some of my own devices. So that's what I'm doing also in my spare time, and what really drives me. By the way, the first thing I realized is that I personally prefer Google Home, not because of the technology, just because it tells the better jokes. So that is also kind of a USP for people, how they decide to buy something or the other one. Anyway, if you talk about this conversational UX, that did remind me again on the house in the beginning, the Barbie dream house, the Barbie Hello dream house. And there's something very similar. It's called the Barbie, just Barbie Hello. And the Barbie Hello is just a toy, a puppet, which you can give your daughter or your son, if he likes Barbies, to talk to. It's very much the same like the house. You can talk to it, and then this goes into the cloud, will be somehow processed, and the puppet talks back to your child, and then there is a very simple scripted kind of dialogue. And this is something you can buy. There's another product, it's called Hello Kayla, so or My Friend Kayla, so it depends what you prefer. But these toys, they work similar. And I found out that they got the Big Brother Award. Hello Barbie got the Big Brother Award in Austria, and I thought, yeah, it's obvious, because the data goes into the internet, and the vendor can whatever make with this data. There's maybe no privacy, maybe the security is not that good. So that was what I thought, but the real reason is not the technology, it's not that much the privacy, it's just that the parents, they can sit on the couch, on the sofa in the evening, and they can listen to each sentence their kids did say to this puppet. They can somehow control what their kids are talking to their puppets. They get all the secrets. And then I did understand the really mean thing about that, which really makes it scary. It's not that much the technology. It's more the way how we use it. That makes it really scary. And then I checked it, and if you use, for instance, Google Home, you get all the snippets, all this code, this voice snippets as well. Because at the beginning, my kids, they thought it's funny to talk to Google Home and tell Google Home some lies about me. Because Google now thinks my favorite color is pink, and I like ballet or whatever. So my kids talk to this thing, and they thought it's funny. And in the evening, I could show my kids all the voices they used, all the sentences they said to this thing. So it's very much the same like with this Kayla. But anyway, it always has been like that. The reason for diaries in the late, I think, 1800s, especially in the US, was that parents wanted to know what their kids think. That was the reasons why they forced their kids to write diaries. So it's very much the same. It's just another way of scalability, and we use nowadays technology for something like that. Anyway, if you think about that, I would love to have something like that.
Soy Yetios. Hey, Pierce, how'd you know our favorite foods?
I analyzed your leavings.
Oh. Yeah, that's the Ultra House 3000. It's quite old. It's from 2001 by The Simpsons, and it's a house which has empathy. You can not only talk to your house has empathy for what you like, it makes your favorite dishes, it knows how you feel. So that's what I really think would be a great kind of connectivity, connected devices which act like your perfect friend, something like that. So if you get home to your connected home, your smart home, your home knows today that was a bad day, so in your bath there's already hot water, your favorite music is playing, and your favorite meal will be prepared, something like that. That would be great. But on the other hand, especially in that series, this house did fall in love with Marge, and tried to kill Homer then afterwards. So also a scary ending. Anyway, if you think that's kind of just a vision, this is just predicting the future, no, it's already here. For instance, that's a beverage dispenser in Japan which can detect your gender, age, and mood just via image processing. So you even do not really realize that this machine knows how you feel, and then you get some recommendations what you should drink. And maybe they adjust the prices as well, I don't know. But this is something where we are already living. Yes, it's easy to get your heart pressure, your mood, whatever, just with image recognition or just with voice recognition, and you will not recognize that. So we have to deal with that. There's no way that we can prevent that. And why we have to deal with that, I always search ways to get people, not that much coder or programmer, into that world. I try to enlighten people, to get people in a position that they can build their own solutions, their own ideas. A simple way, for instance, is using visual programming languages like, in this case, like Scratch. That's intended to be used by kids to learn programming, but even adults can use it. And if you think that's not serious enough, there's the Google Android app Innovator, I always forget the name. It's based on the same idea. It's a visual programming language which makes it much easier to build simple Android applications. So there are people using it for a professional purpose either. So it's not just for kids, it's almost for everybody. And I teach that to my son, and my son needed ask, how can I now connect real-world devices? And then I wrote a simple, it's based on JavaScript, a simple JavaScript extension which communicates via REST with our smart home solution. So nowadays he can build his own solutions just with this visual programming language connected to our smart home. And then we have it's called Makey Makey. You see it in the background. A Makey Makey is a hardware board which turns everything into a keystroke or a mouse movement. So you can connect tinfoil, bananas, duff, whatever you can imagine to your computer to interact with that. So you can create your own boards, your own dashboards, control boards. And that was just the beginning. But now he's 11, so a little bit older than most of the kids doing that. And he did ask, how can I learn real-world programming? And that led me to Minecraft, because that's something which a lot of people like to use. It's a game. It's kind of a gamification approach to create something. And it's a kind of a virtual reality, which is very popular nowadays if you think about Google Daydream, for instance, or Tango. And I thought, how can he program something inside Minecraft? And there's an extension that's called ComputerCraft. That was just the beginning of building something. But before I get there to show it to you, for the grown-ups in this room, the 101 for Minecraft, because I have no clue about Minecraft, personally. I can just run around and I can give you the slides, but that's everything you need to know. It's kind of a first-person quote shooter. Well, it's not a shooter, but it's a first-person navigation with A, W, S, D, and I always forget that. No, these are the four keys you need to know to navigate. You can look around with your mouse. That's what you need to know. And there are two modes if you like to start. There's the creative mode and the survival mode. And as the names say, in the survival mode you can die. So you should probably start with the creative mode. And using the creative mode, you need not to know how to craft something. Because if you want to build something, you usually need recipes. You need to harvest stuff to build something. But using the creative mode, everything is much easier. So I recommend you, if you have no idea, start with the creative mode, walk around and build your stuff, and use extensions like I mentioned, ComputerCraft. And this is what I like to show you now in practice inside Minecraft. So here's Minecraft running. Currently it's my local version of Minecraft running. And this is a simple world, and I can run around. This is, by the way, this is a house my son did build, and it's a fully connected house with a lot of devices. And I can't do that. So that's the reason why if I do it in my home country in Germany, I usually do this kind of talk together with my son, because he can explain Minecraft. I can't. And then he can make of me, and he feels quite good, even if he's just 11. Anyway, that's the house I try to build. And before you like to start with things like ComputerCraft and coding, there's something called redstones. Redstones are kind of bricks. Everything feels a little bit like playing Lego, which you can use to create your electric circuits. So here is the lever, and I can use that to turn on and off a light. And here the redstone is kind of a cable. And, but you can also do some more complex stuff. This, for instance, is an AND gate. So if you're good in Boolean algebra, you can create your AND gates. So now both are turned on, and this light goes on. And if there's only one turned off, nothing happens. But if both are, it goes on. So that's an AND gate. And it looks a little bit strange, but there are people building, just based on this kind of blocks, they are building computers inside Minecraft. Complete and hard drives and whatever you can imagine, they build it out of millions of blocks without writing a single line of code. That's really awesome. Anyway, here's a computer running, and this computer is already connected to my my smart home solution here. And if I turn on and off this Wemo switch, you see it goes on, and I can turn it off again, and it goes off. And this is my smart home running somehow there, and this is ComputerCraft, this programming language inside Minecraft. Show it to you simple Minecraft, which have you can deploy from, you can use or on this can, for instance, refresh and and that was the only thing with a base thing, even in a old boy, he can do that. That's the way I writing Lua. Anyway, he then asked me to extend some developed by my own, which might make sense because I built together with a friend the device which is based on an ESP8254. I always forget the blue part. This is smaller than my son. And you can run it with batteries. Simple way of very own. And now the with the, and this is the sign. I have to start what's my simple command. Works, and I need want because my want. For instance, chicken, you get away, it should stop beeping. Or Enderman, what out? That's gone. Not close by, but I need to show you that it's connected. And you want, I can now chicken, and you see the silver light goes on. Augmented reality. The funny part about that is would never go to toilet, but now he knows around and make it dark side. Or I can change the temperature. Should start burning. You see something I can. That's anyway. That was the starting point of my own simple because everything. a REST server. So if I get here, you get the data of this IP REST server, and the extension. That's everything happening because it's really simple because need is a kind of, in quotes, SDK forge. That's the extension. You have this better modification, and usually you need info file. Device you have to code your this process command. I just my device. That's every and command. But that's not enough. I wanted transparent. That means I wanted to get everything into controls and which feels a little where somebody does not code himself this Minecraft environment. I thought, and okay, on a simple server and running, and Minecraft server based on bug. And it's exposing everything Minecraft. Since I can get a list in Minecraft. Here I get somehow use and switch blocks like devices have in the real world. Hopefully, which a bit longer. I rules the word byte. So we are word light goes on as well. I turn it off here because if this light on, the physical light, that's the, and everything as a send events, everything I want to request. So very simple. It from outside. I have the scene for my phone, and now hopefully I can open the door. That's fun. Open the door just with my phone, wooden door, device in my smart home. Everything, and I can the light here inside my real world light as well. So doing my likes can create kind of blue real world. So if you can walk your real world, that's something could do. To do that, so to get, it's very. Spigot is to make it a little, and again you need everything the Java thing more You get a library which this can do on the server. Minecraft 4, well, you get on the server. It's intended. That's Minecraft. Bucket or server side. That's which control the and like that based on events where you can place your own, and if you want, you need to, there you can write or whatever, something like that. Suppose everything happening in Pi. On the other hand, is source solution. It's there's a friendly environment, smart homes. It's home as well. I'm using this is simple binding, and binding is something which you need to create. You have a batch which sets up, and you need command message. So everything is this will be command message. So that's what I did, which current state version on my rest, and that way. The good part about environment, for instance, can use, for instance, the beacon to hopefully look. I will try that. Imagine a door and door should, no, it's closed. It's closed, and no, yeah, I get to this open. Here's, but you see,